Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor and we're back for another Sunday live stream. So let's get right into this and start out like we always do with our crypto market overview. Now look, I'll be straight up with you guys. Really nothing has changed since yesterday's live stream. We're still looking for the same levels. We're still looking for the same stuff we talked about yesterday. But we're going to go over it again, and we'll also answer a bunch of questions because today is Sunday, meaning it is the community live stream day. Now, looking at prices, we're seeing some more follow through to the downside, which is great, right? Because remember, we took a head short on ETH, and we are waiting for these lower levels to get hit. So Bitcoin is at $104,000. Ethereum is $2,484. And overall, looking at the crypto bubble's top 100, most coins are red today. We do have some big outliers like this white coin, which I've never seen before. It must be brand new. Let's actually look into that right now on the stream. What the heck is the white coin? White rock. Never heard of it in my life. Anyways, I'm not. Let's continue on with the stream. But I'm curious. I have to look into this. What the hell or what the heck is this thing? All right. Interesting. I have no idea why it's pumping, but a 1.6 bill market cap. Anyways, it's happening on a day like today where most coins are completely cooked. This is a scenario on based AI. I don't necessarily have full conviction it will play out, but triple drive bottom is potentially in play. I have not bought any. I don't really plan on it. Anyways, looking at Bitcoin, we have coins like White Rock pumping at a $1.6 billion market cap, while Bitcoin is going down, while Ethereum is also going down, and while we're waiting for these levels to get hit on USDT dominance, as well as all of the total charts. So we're going to go over those right now, but let's start off on Bitcoin. So we are still trading inside of our previous range. And our previous range is marked here in our orange shaded box. Now from here, being that we're waiting for a bit lower on these total charts, personally I'm looking for Bitcoin to come to the bottom of the range. Maybe it wants to sweep the lows at 100K. Maybe it doesn't want to sweep the lows. But I do expect this 100K area to hold if we are going to get this big pump that I'm expecting. All right? Because remember, this is not some random idea that we just came up with right now. We've been planning for this for a while. And what have we been planning for? It actually makes more sense to look at other charts other than Bitcoin at the current moment in time. Because again, we're at the point in the cycle now where Bitcoin has led for years, 3+ years. It's time for these other assets to take the lead, in my opinion, such as Ethereum. So we're going to look at USDT dominance here. And again, we're looking for 4.90% at the absolute minimum. And we would definitely welcome 5%. Remember, this is this daily order block inside of the fair value gap at 4.90. And then up here at 5%. We also have one that has been used already, but still may come into play. Anyways, we want this to spike up here to confirm that we are essentially, bottomed. We're taking this as bottom. And then we want to see this continue downwards so we can see altcoin prices pump. And at the same time, we're still waiting for the total levels to get hit. Our level on the total crypto market cap is 3.14 trillion. All right, so this is related to Bitcoin, which we were just looking at. Right here on the daily time frame, we have these little order blocks inside of this fair value gap, which is why we're waiting for 3.14 trillion. So back to Bitcoin here, it's really not that much lower on the total market cap chart, and it's not that much higher on the USDT dominance chart. Which is why I'm saying I'm not necessarily expecting these range lows to break at 100K just yet. Right? They will break into the future when we get this, but that's not coming into play just yet, I don't think, right? We're in a buy program. We are bullish. So look for Bitcoin to sweep the previous week low at 102,000. Look for it to come to these range lows. And if the totals align, if all the totals hit, then we have some pretty good confluence to say that we're going to go back up from there. All right, I'm looking for a bottom like soon, really soon, guys. And we also have the total 2, which is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. Currently, it's at 1.14 trillion. And again, we're really not looking for too much more here. On the 2-day time frame, we have this. Let's just make it very clear for everyone. So we have this fair value gap, right? We'll make this a nice neutral color, like blue, cool color. And inside of this, we have this partial block, but more importantly, we have this lower order block left behind in the fair value gap. And again, we've had this money marked here, right? This is where the money is going to be made buying, in my opinion. This is where we're looking to catch the bottom. And this is right at 1.09 trillion. So for the total 2, we're looking at 1.09 trillion. For the total, we are looking for 3.14 trillion. And then moving along on the total 3, on the weekly makes it pretty simple because there's just a very simple weekly demand zone on the total 3 here. Okay, a very clear weekly demand level, as well as the monthly open. This is the April or the May monthly open. This chart hasn't registered that it's June 1st now. But anyways, the May monthly open is down here at 813 billion inside of weekly demand. We're so close. Just a stone's throw away to these levels getting hit. So my recommendation, of course, you can do whatever you please because I don't give financial advice here, but my recommendation would be to wait for these levels to get hit and then put on risk. That's my plan, okay? We're very close. Let's see if they get hit today on Sunday or on Monday. It would make a lot of sense to bottom on Monday and then start going up for the week. We'll see how it all does develop and play out. But again, this is not some random analysis that we've just come up with now. We've been planning for weeks for this. And we're very close now to these levels getting hit. And then one more thing, the others chart, which is the crypto market cap excluding the top 10. It has already hit its key level, okay? It already hit. Whether you want to draw it from the 2-day, the 2-day is actually best here on others. As you can see, all of these blocks isolated inside of here. Failed supply zone basically flips into demand, and we have that fair value gap for added confluence. All right, so the others already hit. We're just waiting for the total 2, total 3, USDT dominance. And one more thing, Bitcoin dominance. So we are waiting for Bitcoin dominance to come into, same story, right? We're waiting for this to come into here. See these little guys here isolated in red inside of the FVG? This is right at 64.8%. All right, so if all these levels do hit soon, that's some really, really solid and strong confluence to see a reversal, a bullish reversal in the market, and then continue on this upwards trend that started in April after the bottom came in on April 7th. That's the plan in general, looking at the total market cap charts. Very simple stuff. We're very close to them getting hit. It's just a game of waiting in patience at the current moment in time. And as I've said many times here on streams, trading, investing, it is a boring game. It is a patient game. The flashy lifestyles and all of that does not constitute trading whatsoever. Most of the time, you're sat behind the screen waiting for the market to give you the trigger. These are the triggers we're looking for. And of course, you want to pair them up, line them up with the individual altcoins. And that's going to help you win a lot more if you aren't using an actual plan and strategy in these markets. If you don't have a strict plan, you will get violated, basically. This is the most competitive market, very manipulated as well. So you absolutely, imperatively need a plan. BVol, still at support. Okay, so we are still expecting volatility. Ethereum volatility index, same thing, still at support. Nothing has happened yet. All right, this thing is the lowest it has been since August of 2023. August 15th, it bottomed out. And just for reference, right, if we look at what happened in the middle of August 2023, the last time the B-vol was this low, we were basically, let's see, August 15th. We were in here. Okay, so we based for a while, and then we basically went off to new all-time highs. Or, sorry, not new all-time. This was 2023, not 2021. In 2023, we went up to $4,000 from being at $1,500. The last time the Ethereum volatility index was this low. Right here. So this chart, the volatility index, does not tell us which direction the market will go. It only tells us that volatility is coming. But we're about to see some action. We're about to see some real action, some live action, as they said in, where did they say that? Some Discovery Channel show. I was thinking River Monsters with Jeremy Wade, but he says fish on, not live action. You guys know which show I'm talking about that said that. Legendary people wrangling like wildlife in the Everglades and stuff. But I digress. Let's check in on our live chat and see what's going on. Shout out to DC. What's up, DC? Shout out to Silvadala. And Matt1. What is going on, guys? Yeah, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button as well. Shout out to Mateo. We got Dan Griffiths. What's up, Dan? Good to see you. ETH max price, really hard to say. But let's take it level by level right now for ETH. And let's just get through 3K first. All right? Let's get through 3K first on ETH, and then we can talk about higher. We're going to break 3K, right? We're likely going to go back up to 4K. But max price, I would love to see ETH make a new all-time high, but like it's really iffy. So if I was a betting man, which I am, I think it will make a new all-time high, but it's really hard to say. Let's take it level by level, and let's use our total charts and not just come up with random price predictions for ETH. Shout out to Eric Royston. He says, good morning. Thanks for the live and all the insight. No worries, Eric. And we got Vasil saying that Solana is leading the dump. Yeah, Solana's selling off pretty hard here. But we'll see what happens when these total levels get hit, right? We're expecting a full market reversal, essentially. So if you're interested in Solana, I would be watching it closely. I'm personally not really too interested in Solana. Anyways, let's take a look at some other stuff right now, guys. So I am doing another giveaway for Monad Testnet. And I will put the link for you guys right here in the live chat if anybody wants to participate in this. Let me drop the link right now. And I will pin it for everyone. There we go. So anyways, another giveaway for Testnet Monad. All right, we're going to be giving away 200 of these. 20 winners, 10 each. This is huge. You know how hard it is to get Monad Testnet tokens? It is a pain in the ass. So that's why you should do this giveaway. Anyways, giving away 200 Mon and 20 whitelist spots for the Atlantis IDO. I'm very bullish on Atlantis. I think it's going to be a big one on the Monad mainnet when it goes live. It's already one of the most used apps on the Monad testnet. So anyways, this one will be going on for 72 hours. All you need to do is follow me and the Atlantis Dex. Here's the Atlantis Dex. Like and retweet the post, tag 2 friends, share your wallet so that if you do win, I will send you the tokens. And then you can you have to subscribe to me on YouTube. And I left the link to the YouTube right here in the tweet. So guys, go participate in the giveaway and follow Atlantis if you're not already following them and see what's going on there. But big stuff is happening. Now, in terms of upcoming dates, here's a good tweet from this guy, Marius. And he's talking about the upcoming FOMC. So the upcoming FOMC meeting, as you can see here, we got June 17th and 18th. That's 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away now. And then we have July 29th and 30th, which is going to be the July FOMC. So he says, in his opinion, next FOMC meeting in June, so around 2 weeks away, We're going to hear a lot of positive things of no rate hikes, etc., which will produce another strong run up. But then he says in July, if it falls exactly on these dates, 29th and 30th, he thinks a top will occur. So that's Marius. Good take here and useful graphic that I wanted to show you guys. All right, these are our next key FOMC dates. And if we do have a good one in June, we can expect a pump to continue. Absolutely. Some other news is Sharplink Gaming is raising a lot of money to buy Ethereum. I first heard $425 million that they raised, and the Ethereum Foundation is actually, investing into Sharplink to buy Ethereum. But now they're doing $1 billion. So they're using the same exact approach that Michael Strehler has used with MicroStrategy, but instead of buying Bitcoin, they're buying Ethereum. We'll see how this goes, but in my opinion, it's obviously going to be bullish for Ethereum if they're actually going to go ahead and buy $1 billion worth. It may lead to other companies following suit, maybe not. If they look into Ethereum, they might decide that they don't want to buy that shit coin. But anyways, for now, I do constitute this news as bullish. Also, Jamie Dimon, the U.S. government, Trump announced that they're going to be buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon came out as a rebuttal to that announcement, and he says that the U.S. government should not be stockpiling Bitcoin. They should be stockpiling guns, bullets, tanks, planes, drones, and rare earths. And Bitcoin. But yeah, they should be stockpiling this other stuff and Bitcoin. Yeah. And yeah, this guy said Bitcoin does solve wars. It's very true. So Jamie Dimon, right, he doesn't own the bank, but he basically is the highest up you can be at the bank. And he does profit from wars. So it's no surprise he's saying this. But yeah, bullish on Bitcoin and the US government buying a ton of it. That's some news happening. My mic is too sensitive. It must be too close to my face. I'll move it back. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it's better now. Shout out to Adrian Kent. Perry80 says, what level would you recommend buying Bitcoin for a 3 to 5 year hold, and what percentage of your holdings would you recommend being in Bitcoin? Well, like I've said, Perry, look, the money is not going to be made in Bitcoin for the remainder of this cycle. For now, I should say this year, because going late 2020s, 2028, 2029, 2030, Bitcoin's going to be trading much higher than it is now. But I'm expecting some brutal carnage to ensue. So what price would I recommend you to buy? I would say you shouldn't be buying Bitcoin until definitely sub 100K. But into the future, later this year, I still see it coming down here into the 60s and, likely even lower. So we'll cross that bridge as we get there, Perry. But I would say if you want to buy Bitcoin, you should hold off, because you will be able to buy it, in my opinion, way lower than it currently is. And what percentage of your portfolio? Well, if you do wait and you get it at an optimal price, I would say to make it a very large weighting in your portfolio. Let's see, Unicron 316. What's up, Unicron? Orange Cat coin. Because it is Sunday and the community day, I'll do it. But if you ask me on a Monday or through Saturday, I probably would not look at Orange Cat. If this can't be it, right? $908 volume. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that request. We're going to move on. If you can give me a contract address, I'll look at it, but I ain't looking at any of those. That's it, dude. Come on. My opinion on this coin, it's a scam. If you want to buy it, you're gambling with your money. And that's my opinion on that coin. It's a low market cap with $908 of volume. It's really probably not worth anything investing into. Can we confirm that the mic sounds better, please? Perry says, if holding ETH, when you recommend selling it, what would you rotate into, or stables? It would be nice to get your take on the ETHBTC chart. Holding ETH right now, it makes sense to be holding ETH right now. And looking at our ETHBTC chart on the weekly. So the weekly, we are waiting for closure above the previous swing high level we have marked here at 0.02434. This one just here, okay? If we can confirm a weekly candle closure above this previous swing high, I'd say we're all systems go, okay? We may want to pull back into this key liquidity I do have marked at the yearly open. As you can see on the daily time frame, we have these same thing, FVG, failed supply zone, same concept supply. But in order for this to be a valid bullish level of liquidity, it needs to first clear the previous swing high, close above it, pull back, send, full send.exe. That's what we're looking for in the ETHBTC chart. And then when we eventually do get up here to our key swing high, if we do end up closing above it, and we leave behind this level, then we can expect to continue and push even higher. But realistically speaking, maximum targets would be between like 5 to 6 million Satoshis. Right, here's a very strong resistance at 6 million Satoshis per Ethereum. Yeah, so I mean, this is what we're looking for it to come up here. And we first need to close the weekly above this swing high level. Take a quick look at these charts real quick, guys. So not much action happening now on anything. It is Sunday morning, so maybe volatility will pick up towards this weekly candle closure. But for now, we still have this Ethereum weakness potential. Bullish divergence is there. Potentially, we got something with the double bottom. Right, RSI picking up, getting stronger. Keep an eye on it. I'm bullish on ETH is the thing. I'm just waiting for the key levels to get hit here. I don't want to jump the gun and get flushed out, which is why I'm sticking to my plan and strategy. Let's see, we got Dan Griffiths. He says, Diamond, of course he doesn't want Bitcoin to be stockpiled. It's going to destroy his banking empire. Yeah, the thing is, though, that the banking empire with BlackRock and the rest of the big corps, they're going to control the infrastructure. So he benefits regardless, actually. But I know what you mean, Dan. Shout out to Nurala. What's going on, Nurala? And asking about WCT. Is that crude oil? Or is that a crypto coin? Probably this crypto coin. So on the weekly, you have weekly demand down here. And price reacting directly off of these 3-day demand. There's two levels here, or two candles constituting a 3-day demand zone. and just look at that bounce we're seeing at the current moment in time, obviously in hindsight, but hey, first time I'm looking at the chart. So yeah, that's the 3-day. Look at that 3-day demand zone coming into play perfectly here on WCT. So listen, you know my stance, right? My stance is pretty simple. I'm looking for these total liquidity charts to hit these levels. And if these levels do hit, it does mean that everything is gonna go slightly lower before it goes up, right? If USDT dominance comes up here to 4.9%, altcoins are gonna go lower, and then if it rejects and continues this downtrend, they're gonna go up after they go lower first. So for something like WCT, if it wants to go lower, I would be looking for that weekly demand order zone or zone. And that is from 48 to 36 cents. One useful thing you can do, right, because this is a pretty wide area. It constitutes a pretty steep, price percentage, 22% from the top to the bottom of this demand zone. So one thing you can do if you want to take an entry inside of the level is just take your fib and just put the 50% right there in the middle, and you'll get the 50% of the zone. All right, so that's right at 42.7 cents. So if you did want to buy this thing in weekly demand, I would say that, this would be a good price level to do so. Stop beneath these lows, still a very wide risk, but I would be looking for something like this. Guys, smash up the like button if you're enjoying the live stream so far. It helps me out a lot. It tells YouTube that people like the channel, so YouTube will show it to more people. So go ahead and smash the like button. Thank you very much for all of your support. And we got a question from Stamos Real asking about Aerodrome. Great question. I like when you guys ask me about coins that I have been charting a lot recently, that I'm familiar with already. I can obviously give better analysis, if you will, because I'm more familiar with the chart. It's a very real thing. If you're trading crypto, it's really best to only trade a few tickers instead of overwhelming yourself with like 20 different coins that you want to trade at the same time. Become a master of a few and just continue to basically pull money from those big coins. Learn how to trade them, learn how to move, how they move, and it will be a lot better than tracking 20 different assets. But is Arrow in a good spot is the question. It's definitely in a good spot. I actually haven't noticed this daily level here in the bottom of our fair value gap right at the quarterly open. It's a partial, but it's still valid because this wick only went in like less than 50%. We do have the weekly demand, below down here at 42 cents. But this partial at 44 cents right at the quarterly open looks very attractive. Overall, Aerodrome is in the buy zone, okay? Remember, I made a video not too long ago at all. 6 days ago. Hey, everyone. Okay, this was from 6 days ago on the 26th of May. If you watch the video, you know I said to wait for these levels to come into play. We're there now. So overall, you guys know what I'm looking for here. I think we go a little bit lower and then we pump. So if that's the case, if you're buying Arrow spot, this is going to be a good price. Maybe it comes down here to the quarterly at 44. Okay, it might. Maybe it comes to the weekly demand zone at 42. It very well could. But overall, generally speaking, yes, Arrow is in a good spot. To answer your question, Stamos Real is in a good spot, yes, but I would have these marked as well at 44 and 42 in case we do get them. Those are definite buy zones in my opinion. And we got DC asking about RAI reploy. So first things first. Most of these charts left behind these massive, massive fair value gaps, right? This is in it now on the daily. It's in the level. It is definitely in the level right now. It's like the same as aerodrome, basically. Yeah, no matter what time frame we look at, it's there, it's in it. And I want to check the weekly. Here's the 6 day. The 6 day, yeah, this is the spot for reploy. It looks like the spot. Weekly demand is at the exact bottom. Okay, so keep that in mind. 40 cents down to 22 cents is a big weekly demand zone. But generally speaking, and let's pull a fib too. Okay, so we're right at the 705. It looks pretty good, man. It looks pretty good here. But the thing is, if we do go lower with our total charts, maybe you take this partial. Yeah, that's a bit shite. Maybe it takes the 88.6. What's the market cap of this coin? I don't want to spend all live stream looking at reploy RAI, but because we're on it, we'll take a little bit of time and look into it for 7 million. Okay, so now that I know it's a 7 million market cap coin, I have a different perspective. I would say that yes, it's in a very attractive level now. However, if we're going to see a further dump, again, we're close to our levels we're waiting for, but we're not there yet. It means a little bit lower. I probably will be looking for this demand block. This is a demand zone at the 88.6 or the weekly demand. But yeah, being that it's such a low market cap, it can be a lot more volatile. And look at the chart, right? This thing is moving like crazy. It's very, very volatile. So if it wants to put in one of these last big fat red candles, it can easily do that and then reverse. I would be on the lookout for that. And then we also have a question from Dr. Vostro about SUI. All right, so SUI looks decent, being that it's here on the daily time frame. We are in an outline buy level, and we have swept this low, put in a nice bullish candle here after sweeping the low. It looks clean. The only other level would be down here at $2.80 before like it revisits the bottom, which I don't necessarily see it doing. But if you want to wait for a better price and potentially not get filled, you wait for down here at 280. Otherwise, I would look for price to hold these lows down here at $3.04. Maybe it wants to sweep this low, hit the daily 200 because it has not hit the daily 200. So maybe it wants to flush out all the longs, hit the daily 200, and then send. I could see that as a scenario that very well could play out. Decent probability that happens. Being that, again, if I'm going to be correct here and we're going to see these levels get hit on the majors, everything's going to go a little bit lower. SUI already looks bottomed out, right? I like this daily sweep, but it would make sense to flush the longs and then send it if we are going to go lower. And another question, we got one from the tougher stuff asking about Popcat. So quite similar to SUI, which we did just look at, in the sense that it just swept these lows over here, okay? Took these lows out. Nice bullish sweep, nice candle close. And I want a fresh Fibonacci, please. Let's get a fresh fib here. Okay, so didn't quite hit the 61.8. So if we're going to go a little bit lower, I would look for, we also have a level outlined at 28 cents, which is in the GP golden pocket. So Popcat, if we're looking for longs, we want 31.85 cents down to 27 cents as our long area. Just treating the golden pocket as the golden pocket and not really complicating things. This is the buy zone, okay? This is Popcat. We've had this level outlined down here at 28 cents, so we like it in the golden pocket. But if the majors hit in this thing at the 61.8, you know, you got to take it, I think. And Tyler Shee asking about ALPH Alephium, which the hype has died down substantially on ALPH. Maybe it comes back here. Let's look at the crypto cap here for our full chart view. All right, so on the 23-hour, we're in a 23-hour level right here. We are in there. This is fresh too. Okay, so this is potentially, right? Take it with a grain of salt. Potentially it for ALPH. But just notice, guys, I hope you guys are, you know, paying a lot of attention and just noticing how these liquidity areas, they act as magnets for price. They're very powerful zones to plan your trades from. It allows you to have a set, clear strategy in place instead of trading at the whim to whatever you feel like doing on the day. If you leave your trading up to what you feel like doing, you're going to get waxed out there. Remember that. But let's just find some demand zones. I mean, you got 3-day demand down here. Four-day demand is very obvious. So 3-day, 4-day, whatever you want to use, it's down from 34 down to 32 cents. That's optimal, but we're in a level now, okay? So see what happens when all these total liquidity charts get hit that we've already gone over. See what happens when they hit, and whatever price ALPH is at, right? If it's still in this zone, if it doesn't really move too much, or if it drops to the quarterly or the demand zone we outlined, that is a pretty good trigger to look to be a buyer if you want to buy ALPH, that is. Not on my buy list, but if you want to buy it, go for it. If it aligns with all the criteria I did just mention. All right, cool. The mic is all good. Good to hear that. We got Adrian Kent with a rare token request. I usually just get the 2 thumbs up from my guy Adrian. But Adrian, of course, we can look at Popcat network. Big pump. Curious what the market cap is. Okay, 123 million. strong reaction here from this opposite pole. Been using these for years. Just learned that they're called opposite poles. But yeah, strong reaction from that. So what I'm doing right now, basically we want to look for the level that price is going to pull back into, because unless this was just a big scam pump and it's just going to fade away now, it could happen, but you know, this is 123 million market cap, even though yesterday or the day before it was like 30 million. So this is a very manipulated coin. Don't be mistaken. But it doesn't mean you can't make money from it. So if we're going to apply our similar principles here, the yearly open is the level to be a buyer inside of the fair value gap if it does want to retrace this far. What we can also do is see if we have any added confluence. And that is right in the golden pocket from wick high to the low. And let's see if we take the high instead of the wick high, we'll use the candle body because these wicks might be bullshit. If we take it to the candle body, the golden pocket is exactly the level I just outlined on the 2-day time frame. It's at 3.5 cents. So look, this coin's very manipulated. I'm not sure it wants to retrace. It probably will want to retrace this low. 3.5 cents is the money area, in my opinion, for a continuation play, right? For a continuation of this uptrend. 3.5 cents. It would be a very harsh flush out, but this thing has gone up really fast like a rocket ship. And if the rocket ship does run out of fuel, you know, it can crash quite hard before, you know, a refuel and upwards propulsion again. But that's your level. That's your level. 3.5 cents. Hope that helps. Adrian. And Bob's my uncle asked about Tau. Some crazy buys. What do I make of this? Well, I hope it's some big corporation buying up all the Tau, because I still have a very fat Tau bag. And, you know, that would be great if some big player is buying up a ton of it. So for Tau here, Tau is very strong and it likes to front run a lot. It doesn't like to give you the prices you want to wait for. I did short it earlier on a little scalp when it came up here into the 3-day. But I'm already out of it. What do I make of the Tau buying on Binance? Is bullish. I mean, I'm bullish on Tau. It's again, I have a fat bag of this, so I might be a little biased. Let's see where price is when the majors get hit. And if it's at 350, I would love that. Okay, that would be an obvious long. But I'm not sure it goes all the way down there is the thing. I mean, we can use all time frames, right? We want to use all time frames. We got ourselves something fresh on the 4-hour. We got ourselves a fresh level on the 4-hour time frame at 395 to 392. We get the alignment with the majors. We long this. See this wick? We put our stop just below it. That's fresh. That's a live analysis, fresh level. That looks like money to be made. that's 396. Yeah, let's go right here. Yeah, 396 to 392.50. That's the spot. If we get alignment from our majors, that is the spot to long. I feel quite confident saying that it looks like a really good setup if we get this. And if we get this. That's the plan, boys. Or that's the plan, lads. If you're wondering why I say lads, I lived in Australia for a year, so I heard it a lot. Just one of the things I picked up along the way. Dan calling for 7K ETH. Definitely possible. So the tougher stuff says, what about those of us that have a smaller amount to invest? Does Ethereum still make sense? Not necessarily, no. Okay, it depends on what your risk appetite is and what your goals are. But if you're looking for like a 2x to potentially like a 3x, Ethereum can give that to you. But if you're looking for more than that, then yeah, I would say Ethereum wouldn't be your best option. So you ask about Lido or Aave. They would definitely be better options because they're Ethereum betas. So when Ethereum eventually does go on the run, which I think is going to be happening soon, these Ethereum betas are likely going to outperform it. Let's see, do I have a perps chart? I don't think I do for Aave. But this must be weekly. Nah, 6 day, 5 day. Okay, so 5 day demand block there, right at the bottom of the orange zone. 4 day, 3 day, 2 day. Just the 1 day, and what was that, the 4 day? 5 day? The 1 day and the 5 day. So basically here on this chart, I'm simply trusting in my analysis that I did way prior, okay? Because I trust myself. I know that I pick good spots. I've been doing this for a long time and back tested a lot, so that has developed confidence. And that would be right at the 78.6 at 225, right at the bottom of our orange shaded zone here. If the majors align, that's the spot for Aave. Right in daily demand and 5 day demand too. We like that. We like that a lot. But I hope that helps tougher stuff. Somebody asking about TARS AI. Give me the chalupa. I like that name. So TARS. Holding up really strong. Right, it is down 30% from the high. It did dip 38% from the high. But this market structure is completely intact. So you can't deny that. Again, I'm going to trust myself here and go off of this line that I put on the chart previously. Being how strong this thing is holding up, being that I'm only looking for slightly lower here on the market to get these major charts to hit their levels, I'm going to go off of this line I put down at 9.9 cents, basically 10 cents. And this would sweep the low that came in yesterday. So everyone who long TARS, right, because you can long this on leverage, right? It's listed on all these exchanges, perpetual futures contracts. So everyone that's long right now, if this move was to happen, they would all get stopped out. And then price can continue up higher. I like that. Sweep this low right at this level I already marked. That's also in daily demand. Okay, this is a daily demand zone. So multiple things lining up there for this coin at this price, 10 cents, 9.932. Bob, I appreciate that super chat. Let me put up a poll and then I'll answer that. Let's see what the audience is saying right now. Are we bullish or bearish, guys? Answer the live poll. And we got a super chat coming in now from Bob. Bob's my uncle. He says, thoughts on the structure of my boys OKEG and Barrio. Let's take a look. Well, Bob, we've had the level for quite a while, haven't we now? You've given me multiple super chats and multiple different live streams, and nothing's changed here. Looks like it's coming into play, yeah? 2.5 mil market cap. Structure looks fine. Higher lows. No break of bullish structure at all. We actually have a bullish change of character here with the wick above the previous swing high, but we did not break above. We actually did close above it here. We did close above it here. All right, so close above the previous swing high, pull back into key liquidity, and send. That's it. That's it. So that's the game, folks. Of course, it's not necessarily always that simple, but at a time like right now when we're looking for the majors to hit those levels only slightly lower, I'm going to say this time in this scenario it is this simple for these charts. We know we're in a buy program. At least I think we're in a buy program. So we want to play these bullish zones here, especially after price clears a previous swing high and pulls back. You want to buy that dip. This has told you this can be applied to any chart. Obviously, we're looking at a $2.8 million meme coin, but this can be applied across every asset. When you have a previous swing high, you close above it on the higher time frame like the daily. You look to buy the pullback into key liquidity. So, Bob, that looks fine. Same story here on Barrio, right? Close above the previous swing highs. Let's see. It didn't respect this daily one, but it's currently in... I would classify this as daily demand, personally. I don't know what anybody else thinks out there, but personally, I would classify this as a demand zone. Why? Well, look at what happened to price after it was here. We had a very large move, okay? And we're in it now, actually. We're actually in this level now. So, yeah, we're in demand. I'm sure I could play around on many different time frames and find something here, but so on the 3-day we get a different picture. On the 3-day I'm going to isolate. This is a better demand zone in my opinion. Okay, so on the 3-day price can still drop to around an 830K market cap, but your question was how is the structure of these? The structure is perfectly fine, okay? If we connect the lows on the trend line, this lines up perfectly. 3-day demand, it would be the third tap of the trend line. We like threes. We like the power of threes. And then fullsend.exe, maybe, but it's a low market cap, base coin. So maybe it would have to take a little longer and see money rotate back out of ETH into it or something. But yeah, this is the spot. 830K market cap. It looks good. let's see. We got a question from Miss Worldwide. What's up, Miss Worldwide? If you're still watching right now, we're just getting to the question now. And Miss Worldwide, Shakithia is asking, just joined, can you go over Brett on base? Yeah, we can look at Brett. So Brett has come right into the level we've had marked out, and we've been basically waiting for here. Trying to recall why I put this huge green. I mean, I know it constitutes a fair value gap, but on what time frame? That's why it's important to mark it so you know. But anyways, Brett. So here's the swing high up here, 9.2 cents. Swing low down here, 2.2 cents. Price has come right into the golden pocket. All right, so we do have the level slightly lower at 4.2 cents. If we drop down there and the majors align, it's a buy, 100%. But we got a little tweezer forming. Yeah, I would say it's in a good spot now. If you're buying spot, you'll probably be okay. If you want an optimal entry, you'll wait for the majors to align. And if that happens at 4.2 cents, it is a no thought trigger to put on risk. But it's very close. We've been waiting for this for a while now. Okay, it's in our zone, but we just don't have the majors aligning just yet. It'd be nice if we got it so that we can just, go for plan the next one. But for now, this is how we're gonna this is how we plan on making some money here in the short term, and looking to buy things spot for the run up again until late July. I'm thinking market top late July, FOMC. %, of you guys are bullish right now. Is that just because I'm bullish, or are you actually bullish too? And Donatas is asking about Cubic. So here's the MEXC chart. And the MEXC chart, we have on the 4-day, right, we have this demand block isolated here. Notice price has used this many times and it's resulted in positive moves every time. It's a very good sign. There is the right, if we go to the 1 month, oops. If we go to the 1 month, we have isolated this entire candle from the month of March as a demand zone. And then on the weekly, we do have this, right? This would be like the best case scenario to get for an entry on Cubic at this point in time. But I'm not sure the market does want to give it to us. If it does give it to us down here, that would be crazy good. 18% lower. But I'm not sure that happens, okay? So for now, I would say if the majors align and this drops back into 4-day demand, it's a buy. Even right now, spot, I think it's a buy. But if you want to be optimal, you would wait. And then here on the Gate.io chart, I drew a very simple bull flag, and it's a very obvious bull flag, and it's respecting it very well. Okay, so listen, maybe it wants to touch the bottom for a third time. Maybe it doesn't. I'd fully expect this to break out of the bull flag and head higher. Okay, so this is on breakout watch, and I'm a broken record at this point in this live stream. I've said the same thing. But let's see what happens when the majors align. Whenever that happens, or whatever price is on Cubic, If it's in 4-day demand, great. If it's still up here, whatever. But when the majors hit, if you want to buy it, like the thing is, guys, like we're at the cusp of some really crazy moves. And this is how crypto always works. Price will go down for months, 4, 5, 6 months straight. Sell off, sell off, sell off. Every rally fails. And then when the tides turn like they have right now and we enter into a new uptrend buy program, the gains happen in a very short amount of time. Whatever day the market decides to break out, okay, whenever that happens, most coins will probably have crazy moves, all right? And if you wait until that day, you'll be forced to just buy way higher. So Cubic is on breakout watch along with essentially all the other coins. Like we're on the cusp, I think. I think we're close to something really positive happening to these altcoin prices. Shout out to Scorch888. He says, "What's up, lads? Good to see you, Scorch." Shout out to Kazuya. Smash up the like button, guys. And Caspa, another Caspa, or a Caspa request today. By the way, if you're wondering what this other chart was, this was a short-term play if it got hit like today, but this isn't valid. Okay, this was just going to be a little scalp in case we did see further downside, but this thing's holding up, so disregard this. All right, this is the spot chart, not the perps chart, which was the other one. So anyways, here's Caspa. What has occurred here? What has happened here? Pretty interesting right there. It's not fresh though. That's the thing. This wick disregards it. But that is still interesting nonetheless. So you swept this low, and you came back into here, and a very positive candle close with the sweep of that low. So we've looked at a few other charts with a similar price action, pattern playing out here at these recent lows that just formed over the past few days. And the same thing I said for the other ones would be if the majors are going to hit, it's not going to drop a lot because we're really not looking for much. And we have the bottom of a green zone here at 7.79. So maybe it sweeps. Here's the thing. If you want to buy at spot, we're talking about a 6% move, 7% move. It might not be worth it to wait in case you miss it if you want to buy this coin spot. If you want to play it with Lev, well, yeah, you're going to want to wait. You definitely don't want to put on risk unnecessarily. But if you're buying spot, to wait for 7% for, a potential 200, 300% plus, maybe way more gain, that doesn't make sense mathematically speaking, right? If you were a quant, you probably wouldn't wait, would you? It's all based on probabilities. There's a decent probability this happens, but it might not. Okay, so it's up to you to make that decision what you want to do with CAS. I think it's very close to forming its bottom here along with the entire market. But just look where the majors will be. Again, for anyone joining in late, we're an hour in right now. You want to see, or what I'm looking for, is for these major charts to hit the levels I've had mapped out for a long time, right? A few weeks. That's USDT dominance at minimum 4.9%. 5% may happen, but minimum we're looking for 4.90. Bitcoin dominance, we're looking at 64.8. Total, we're looking at 3.14 trillion. Total 2, we are looking for 1.09 trillion. Total 3, we are looking for at least 817. We would prefer around 800, the low 800 billions, like 810 to 800 billion. Those are the levels to look for. If they happen, that is where I expect a bullish reversal to occur from. So that's why we spent most of the stream going over different altcoin charts and talking about the confluence and the alignment with the majors and how to play them. And I'm not too, like, this isn't moving necessarily in a clear manner to me right now. So this would not be a coin I would look to long, but I still like 7.7 cents. Shout out to Dan Griffiths. Some more wisdom about Jamie Dimon. Yeah. It's all about power. I agree on that, man. Because, listen, Jamie Dimon, Larry Fink, they don't care about money. They have enough money. They care about power. They care about influence. So, yeah, that's what the game is at the top. At the top, everyone has money. It's all about power at that point. And we have another question from Perry.80. Thoughts on hype? It feels like such a consensus trade. Do you still see a lot of upside? I regret not buying more at $12. Any thoughts on Hyper EVM? Consensus trade. So Perry, I'm going to assume you weren't here on the live stream I did, my previous streams, because I said hype basically. A lot of fishy stuff happening in the sense that Ansem put out a tweet. It looked like a paid shill, undisclosed. A lot of other tweets, huge paragraphs that they definitely didn't write themselves. All right, those were all for sure bought and paid for tweets that they put out on all these big accounts. So it's funny you come in here and say it sounds like a consensus trade, when from my perspective, I saw all the talk about it, and my bullshit detector just went through the roof. That's me, right? I have a seasoned eye for these types of things. Maybe I'm looking too hard into it, but honestly, that was just the gut feeling I had. So I wouldn't say I think that the industry wants you to think it's a consensus trade so that you buy it and become exit liquidity. That's what I think. Because I'm not so sure it's a consensus trade. Especially when the chart looks like this. Anyways, we just isolated a weekly demand zone from the daily, but it's also the weekly candle exactly. So Perry, I would say for Hyperliquid and the Hyper EVM, I definitely wouldn't chase it. I wouldn't feel like you need to chase after it. Okay, they want you to feel like you should chase after it. The fear of missing out emotion, which is what it sounds like you're feeling from the comment you wrote. That's what they want you to feel. So understand that you may be getting manipulated right now. Maybe. You can take the devil's advocate and say that maybe what I'm saying right now is manipulating you to think a different way, right? But personally, I think that the FOMO you're feeling is designed. Okay, so I would be careful with hype. I'm not so sure it is a consensus trade with a chart that has gone nothing but up with zero pullbacks. It just looks very, very fishy. And yeah, that's my thoughts on hype. I don't trust it. But if you see 27 to 24, that weekly to 25, that weekly demand, maybe look to go in more, but I'm not going to play Hyperliquid at all. Shout out to All Day Dre in the building. What's going on, Dre? And Guts Motor says a lot of coins are holding up, but there's still room to go a bit lower in his opinion. That opinion does align with my opinion as well. Room to go a bit lower. Keyword there is a bit. We're not looking for too much, just a bit. But I mean, I can just use my eyes here and see these sweeps on USDT dominance. I mean, and also on ETH, this looks like a reaccumulation before they want to send it. I don't think 2200 is going to come at this point. I don't think 2K is going to come at this point. These would be the optimal levels to get hit. But personally, maybe we sweep the range lows down here, 23 to 2400, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, this short trade, right, it's already locked in. Stop losses break even. I've already taken profits, so you can't lose with it. But I am definitely not going to be holding the rest for 22 or 2000. I think that's not wise. And I like I just said, right, this looks like accumulation to me. I do see this on USDT dominance, these daily sweeps. But because I have been holding out for 4.90, I'm not going to change my stance here on a live stream and confuse a lot of people. So I'm still going to stick with what I've been saying. But monitor this. Monitor this because, you know, these sweeps are obvious. We have a question from EGELD63. He says, are financial institutions going to ruin crypto investing in the future and turn it into a regular market with no bull runs? Let's see, EGELD63, I think absolutely. Let's just look real quick. So currently, according to CoinGecko, there's 17,241 coins. This obviously doesn't account for all the pump fund coins and the meme coins that can be created with a click. So there's like over 100K coins. There's going to be a massive purge. There is going to be a massive purge. If I had to guess when, 2026, next year. I think the 17,000 is going to turn to like 1,000 or less coins on the market. It's going to change a lot. It is going to change a lot. And the bull runs that we have known and come to love, 2017, 2021, this one, it's not going to happen anymore, I don't think, right? It's going to be very different. It's going to be a more efficient market. The thing about crypto, it's a very inefficient market, which is why we get the crazy volatile price swings. The market is going to become much more efficient. And yeah, this number 17,000 is going to reduce like by 90 to 99%. It's going to reduce heavily. Most of these coins won't exist by the end of 2026, in my opinion. Great question, though. Great question. Vikey Odin, he says, by the way, when you say July FOMC on July 29th and 30th could be a top, do you mean a local top or top? Oh, I mean top. Yeah, top. Until January 2026. Like, yeah, the top is what I'm saying. Absolutely, yes. We'll see if my predictions do come to fruition or not. Guys, smash up that like button. Smash it up. Get those likes to 100 during the stream. Smash up the like button. Tougher stuff. Price target for Tau 350, I think you mean, or the level where that would be optimal to get hit here in the short term. But yeah, we don't really see that happening. But anyways, we did see this 4 hour at 395, which was the new level we like. $495 if it's hit and aligns with the majors. That's all systems go. And Dan asking about Grafane. Very close to hitting this daily demand level of 5.6, 5.7 cents. Let's see if we're going to flush out a little lower. That's going to come into demand. I don't think it's going to come down here to this hidden liquidity. But if it does, that would be the most optimal. But given how things look at the moment with where the total liquidity charts are, I'm not sure we get, what is this, like a 30% move? 25%. I'm not sure we get another 25% dip. It's possible. It's definitely possible. This would be optimal, but I would be looking in this daily demand zone. Shout out to Gaddis. He said he smashed the like. Well deserved. Appreciate that, sir. Shout out to James Brasco. He says great video. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. Thanks for all your nice comments on all my videos, man. I'm glad you like the channel, and I appreciate your support. Tougher Stuff says he wish he could smash the like button twice. Well, if you have another Google account, you can use that to sign into YouTube and smash the like button twice. I'm not saying you should do that, but you can do that if you want, of course. Let's check out the results of our poll. Results are in. 78% of you were bullish, 21% of you are bearish. All right, so we are leaning towards the bull side here. Interesting. Shout out to the Silvadala. He says, show some love for Connor, everyone. Not many Chads like Connor. Keep it real and reach out to the community like this. Yeah, guys, smash up the like button. It's, I guess it's pretty true, right? Like, you don't get a lot of streams like this on YouTube. But if you guys like it, be sure to hit the like button. Get it to 100 likes, guys. Get it to 100 likes. We have a question from Clop Zone. Clop Zone says, Ben Cohen said total 3/Bitcoin will go down to the range low. Well, I mean, Ben Cohen is, he's good, but he doesn't need to be right per se, right? First of all, like I said, maybe I'm just, my brain is too seasoned to see these patterns, but as soon as, I haven't looked at this chart, the first thing I see on the weekly is the triple drive bottom. It's the first thing I see. And you're saying it wants to go down to 0.27 according to our guy Ben. Put a line there. I see it, yep. This range low just here. So let's see the range that our guy Ben's talking about. He's got this as the range low, and I'm going to assume this is our range high. Maybe he took this as the range. It's possible he did that, but wherever he put the range high, it doesn't really matter right now because we're talking about the range low, which we know for a fact is down here. Let me make sure our lines are on it. Okay, there we go. So This is basically calling for the purge and destruction of every single altcoin. Even more than we've already had. Can happen. I just don't necessarily think it's going to happen from here. So if this was to happen, we would see USDT dominance come back up to like... It would come back up to like 6%. In a buy program, that's not going to happen, man. Or if we were in a downtrend sell program right now, yeah, I can see that happening. But April 7th, we switched. We pivoted. The heck? So here we are back to this chart. Nah, I disagree with Ben, man. I disagree with Ben completely right now. We are in a weekly demand zone. We have a triple drive bottom. I disagree with Ben Cohen 100% at the current moment in time. Clip it. Let's see who's right. I'm calling bottom in this weekly demand zone. We'll draw it wick to the wick low. The bottom of the demand zone is 0.39. That's my call. Let's put it up versus Ben in a friendly little competition just to see who's right. That's all. So we got a question from Tyro Crates asking about virtuals. We got this on virtuals. So we got the very clear, we got this very clear pattern. And we got the very obvious bearish div. Okay, but the thing is, in bull markets, these things will go to support and they will hold support and invalidate the bearish divergence. If you try and short bearish div in a bull market, you get blown out repeatedly. Unless you're very pinpoint and you play them as counter trend and you know when to get out quickly. I would say you want to sweep at the previous week low into daily demand at this point in time. Here's daily demand. Here's the previous week low, previous week low, 175. Deviate the channel, get everyone to freak out, think it's the breakdown, and then trick them out and pump to the top of the channel. Seems valid to me, given my bullish posture. Now, on the other hand, if Ben Cohen's going to be right and altcoins are going to get just destroyed from here and go down another like 50% to 90% across the board from their current price, well, watch for a breakdown and then a bearish retest. But I don't think that's going to happen, which is why I'm saying daily demand at 175 is the area. But on that note, everyone, actually, before I end it, we got some interesting comments. Let's see. Matthew Black says, following Capo, he also says we're going down to hell. LOL, I trust Connor's insight, but also I know the market will decide in the end, so you just have to play strategic and have a plan either way. Yeah, Matthew. I mean, also come up with your own, right? Which is, I'm sure, what you do. You're always in the live streams, right? So I know you likely come up with your own takes and your own analysis on the market. when it comes from you, that's when you're going to perform your best, right? You can try and follow all these different traders. This is to everyone, by the way, not just to Matthew, but you can try and follow all these different traders. You can join all these different groups. You can do all this external stuff, but until you look at the man in the mirror and get real with yourself, ain't shit going to change, man. So yeah, when it comes from you, it's always the best. It doesn't matter what Capo says. It doesn't matter what I says. It's about what you think and the actions you take. That's the only thing that's going to change anything in your life. And Dr. Snus, I like the name, man. I like the name. Snus, is it Snooze? Whatever. He says, remember that Cohen does TA, so as indicators change, so will his analysis. You can't say he was wrong at future date by convincing him to a call. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what you're trying to say, man. But it sounds like it could be a possible troll. Possibly a troll, or just completely irrelevant. I don't really know what you're saying. And someone says, look at Ethereum before I go. Okay, so yeah, I mean, like I said, right? These sweeps on USDT dominance, I see them, right? And they're coming, they're working. All these sweeps, this could be it. So we'll see if the totals get hit or not. If they do get hit, guys, you know what to do. And I'll be live again tomorrow. So we'll catch up tomorrow, everyone. I do hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Hope you found the analysis insightful. If you haven't already, smash up that like button. Get the stream to 100 likes. We're only 3 away. So hit that like button real quick. Thank you so much for all of your support. I'll see you all very soon. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. Before I end the stream, we are doing a giveaway right now for Monad testnet tokens. 20 people are going to win 10 Mon each on testnet. And if you win, you'll also get a whitelist spot for the Atlantis IDO. Follow me on X or Twitter. I pinned the link to this in the live comment section. Go do this giveaway, everyone. All right? It's very hard to come across these Monad testnet tokens. If you win, you get 10 of them, which is absolutely huge. So get on it. 3 days, it will end. But anyways, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great Sunday. This is Connor from Crypto Empire signing out. Stay up, stay blessed. I'll see you on the next one.